Nice to meet you. I'm Lucas Lauer.
Nice to meet you too. My name is Allison Kosciusko. I am a psychology major at Indiana University East with a criminal justice minor, and I am under supervision of Dr. Alyssa Brown. Before we get into anything, I'd like to let you know this is a very safe place. You can say anything to me here that you would like to, and just know that you can feel safe. But there are a few rules that I'd have to break confidentiality. I don't like to do this, but I do this to keep you safe and everyone else around you safe. Before I get into this, I'd like to let you know this is very important. So I want you to keep this in mind, because if later down the line you're going to mention something in a session, you wouldn't want me to tell someone that you wouldn't have to say it. So the first rule is if you are in immediate danger, like yourself or anyone else, like for example, if you tell me you're going to commit suicide, then I would have to tell authorities. And the second rule is that a child or an adult that cannot take care of themselves was abused in the past or even in a different state, I would also then have to tell authorities. And the third rule is just if the court orders your files. If I ever have to go through any of these steps, I would make sure to do that with you, because I want you to feel included, because we're now a team and I don't want you to feel left out. So now that I have bored you with all my legal information, would you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I'm a little confused about rule number 2. So can you explain that and give me an example?
Yeah, right. So about the child abuse or adult that can hear themselves even in a different state. So like if you would bring up abuse in your past, such as like your parents abusing you, even if middle school, high school, whenever, I would then have to tell authorities.
Okay. And why would the court order my files?
There could be many reasons the court would order your files, but usually the main reason is just if you are attending those sessions.
Okay.
So do you have any further questions for me?
No, that's all.
All right, so let's get started. So what's bringing you in today?
Yeah, so I'm very stressed with school right now. So I've just been really stressed and overwhelmed, and I recently got a bad grade, and I just, when it comes to schoolwork, I'm really bad at having organization and like keeping track of myself. And then when I find myself being very stressed and overwhelmed during like quizzes and exams, and I really don't know what to do about that. So that's why it brings me here today.
All right, so are you a full-time student?
I'm a full-time student.
What year are you?
I'm a junior, third
Oh,
year.
so you're getting towards the end of your school
Yeah, so
career.
it's definitely becoming a lot harder, I've noticed.
What are you majoring in?
Oh, robotic engineering.
So is this a class that specifically is directed towards robotic engineering, or is it kind of like a, what do they call, elective or something like that?
I definitely won't be doing any of this in my career. This is too in depth for me, so I won't be working with this type of stuff. So it doesn't really affect my major directly.
Okay. So also, are there any other things in your life that would be like stressing you out that maybe cause school to be more stressful for you?
I think living on my own has been very stressful too. So now I have to worry about like bills and stuff like that in adult life. So I've noticed that kind of puts some stress on me too. So.
Okay. So do you live on your own, or do you live with someone else?
I live with my girlfriend, yeah.
Do you guys been getting along and everything? Is that something that's been stressing you out?
No, everything's really going good actually. We've adapted very good, and everything's going really good actually. So we've settled in, and it's nice and everything. I guess just the money-wise stresses me out sometimes, worrying about having enough money to pay for stuff and school and stuff like that. That stresses me out.
Alright, so you think maybe the stress of money for paying for rent and whatever is stacking on top of your stress for school, and maybe making school a little bit more stressful?
Yeah, definitely with the money aspect, which is something that would stress people out, I guess, moving out on their own, but yeah.
So, you mentioned that you procrastinate a lot. Why do you think you procrastinate?
Yeah, I'm a very big procrastinator, and I think, I guess when I look at it, realizing that I have certain assignments due on the weekend, I like to put them off through the week and until like Friday or Saturday and then work all day. And I think when those days do come and then I'm working on homework all day, I think that really stresses me out because it's not like I take a break or anything. I just do it all day and get it done, and that really stresses me out a lot.
Yeah. So how do you think you could go about not procrastinating as much?
I've definitely looked up ways of not being better at not procrastinating, and I've thought about it a lot, and I definitely think like working on a little homework each day and taking it a day at a time, I think I probably need to do better at that instead of putting stuff off. So I've definitely thought about doing that.
Yeah. Have you ever, is this your first semester of taking full credits at IU East?
I believe this is my third now, but definitely the classes are definitely more difficult this semester, I've noticed. And in previous years, I haven't done a lot of studying in the previous years, and they weren't that hard, but now I've noticed how it's a lot harder, and I think I need to do more studying.
So you think maybe since you're getting into these upper level classes, it's requiring more of your attention than what you've been used to having to give, so maybe that's like the root of the stress.
I think you're right. Definitely studying more, giving more of my attention to the classes is definitely key.
So are all of your classes in person at IU East, or do you have some online, or do you have to go other places?
That's another thing. Some of them are in person, but I also have a couple online, and then some are half and half where it's like online lecture and then in-person lab. And I definitely think like having some online, having some in person gets a little stressful too, with having to know which ones are which, and having to remember to do the online stuff, which can definitely be stressful because I don't think about that until the end of the week, and then I have stuff to do that day, and that stresses me out a lot too.
Right. So do you think, with this class specifically that's stressing you out, do you think you have a good relationship with your professor, or do you think there's some like lines in between you guys that's like maybe causing you to stress more about this specific class than others?
I believe that like I ask questions when I am confused and need help on stuff, and she's good at helping. I think I think she has difficulty teaching stuff in a way that I understand it though, and I've noticed other kids in that class think the same thing. So it's definitely I think I don't want to put all the blame on her, but yeah, she definitely isn't the best at teaching stuff in a way that I can learn easily. So it makes it more difficult, but I do email her when I can and ask questions.
Right. So it's a female professor.
Yes.
Correct. And is this class online, or is this one of your online classes or one of your in-person classes? And do you take it on this campus? Like, how is it?
It's actually half and half. So she posts lecture videos online, and I watch those before class, and then I go in person to a different campus actually, which is kind of a drive. It's about 50 minutes away, so it's a little drive, but I only go every Thursday. But and then so I'll watch the lecture videos and then go to lab in person and do the lab. So
your lectures are the lecture time is what's online, right? And then the lab is the in person. And so you attend IU East, in the Richmond campus, but you, if I'm clear, you have to drive to a separate campus.
Yeah, I do.
So, and this is the class that's stressing you. So, do you think maybe that the thought of having to, I have to drive all the way there for this class that I'm having a hard time with, do you think that even adds on to the stress?
Yeah, I think realizing that I have to drive there and then drive all the way back after adds a lot of stress too, because I'm ready to just be home and relax.
Right.
But then I have to drive an hour just to get home, and it does stress me out a lot.
Yeah. Have you sought any help from maybe other classmates or your advisor perhaps about maybe getting some assistance with this class since you've been struggling?
Me and my classmates do talk, especially during like in-person class on Thursdays, and we help each other out a lot. I haven't emailed any of them like personally outside class though. I'll usually only talk to them in person
Right.
on campus and get help from them that way though.
Right. So that's going to be the end of our session today, and I'll be happy to see you back next week.
Okay, thank
Have a
you.
good evening.
You too.